Well, good morning, everybody. Just wanted to give you a quick little tour of our daily cleaning routines, cleaning, feeding, that kind of stuff on the farm. We usually take care of the pigs first. It doesn't really matter what order, but the pigs get kind of ornery if you don't feed them. They'll start grunting and squealing and making all kinds of weird noises because they know that early morning is time for them to eat. So I'm just getting their food. I got to get all their food bowls. Sometimes I'll get those as soon as they're done eating, but this time I just left them out. And always got to tap them and kind of get all the dirt and anything that may have collected in there. Keep the feed in this big steel trash can because it is critter proof. It keeps the rats and the mice out. And the squirrels and everything else. Give the big pig 2 level scoops and to give the 2 little pigs 2 heaping scoops. And we adjust that as they grow.
They're lining up.
And I always like to wait for the pigs to get in an order. See, the big pig there's first, and then the other ones, they kind of know, expect where I'm going to put the food down. They're so used to this routine. And everybody has their own bowl. That way it avoids fighting. You know, because if you put it all in one bowl, the pigs can get in there and bully the other ones out. And then in order to change the water, I have to, there's this big, huge, heavy rock that's in this water trough, and I have to lift that out of there. It's very heavy. It seems to get heavier the older I get. But it keeps the pigs from knocking their water bowl, their water trough over. It also keeps them from climbing in there and wallowing around in clean water. So in the summertime, we hose them down, give them plenty of water. And then the chickens here, of course, chickens and ducks. Got this enclosure at Tractor Supply. Got a real good deal on it. It was discounted substantially because it was sitting outside in their yard for the longest time, unsold. So I got it for almost half price. And when you have ducks, they use a lot of water. So there's a lot of water that needs to be cleaned out and changed every day. And this is a rat-proof feeder that I have here. It also keeps the squirrels and the rats and the mice out. They have to stand on this little grid in front of it. And once they stand on that, then the food is released to them. They all know how to use it. And then the water for the ducks, the big water tub, that's going to need to be changed. I'm just collecting the eggs now. In the winter months, the egg production slows way down. I think we only got 2 today. That's a little unusual. We usually get 3 or 4 every day, but 2's fine. With the price of eggs now, I tell you, we're glad to get any eggs. So they're brown, just like the chickens. So I've got to get this female duck out of there. And I always keep a small cinder block in there for them to just stand on while they're in the water. When they don't feel like treading water the entire time, they can just sort of stand on that. But do this every few days. When the water gets yucky, just kind of dump that out, and the ground will absorb that pretty quickly. In just an hour or 2, you won't even be able to tell I dumped water in there. But I'm multitasking, so now I'm going to go over to the little rabbit tent and take care of some of the rabbit duties. I believe we have like 13 rabbits now, 4 adults, and like 9 utes. And everybody gets their own cage, except for the babies. They're in what's called grow-out cages. They're down at the end there. And they have the larger blue feeders. Sometimes have to shift that so the food falls down properly. Those probably need to be slightly readjusted on the cages. But I buy these 50-pound bags of feed at Tractor Supply usually. Sometimes the feed and seed store that's closer. And then here's something I have to do every day. I don't show me doing all of them, but you have to sort of dump all the poo and pee out. Then I whack it up against this tree just to get any pellets that might be stuck on there. Hose them down as best as you can, you know. It's funny, even with this water on like the highest jet setting, I can't seem to get some of these stuck on pellets, doo-doo pellets, off of the tray. So sometimes I'll just give it a whack again. But it's just good because the stench from the urine, the ammonia, can be very unpleasant for the rabbits. And if you leave it, it can also make them sick, give them respiratory issues. So you want to make sure you keep these pull-out trays clean, or whatever your system is. If you have one of the ramps type systems where all the poo and pee just falls down into the ramp. I actually have a neighbor. We don't have any real sun in our backyard. It's a lot of trees, so a lot of shade. So we have a neighbor next door who will use a lot of this rabbit waste as sort of fertilizer, manure, and we can give that to him straight. And so we just wait till we have enough, and we give it to him.
Mine comes.
That tree probably needs cleaned off too. And that is, there's 6 different cages right now. How
many more of those?
So we clean the trays on all 6 cages. That's a daily activity, and then we got to give them water, fresh water every day.
I want to come over here. I want to stand up there the whole time.
Sometimes they'll poo in their water. Sometimes they'll stand in their water, get a little bit of pee in there. If it looks dirty at all, just dump it.
Yeah,
just
my
give them
hands are
fresh,
frozen.
clean water. It's rather cold out today. It's like 40 or maybe high 30s. I think 43 is supposed to be the high for today. It is January 14th, 2023, by the way.
Yeah.
And yeah, bunnies love fresh, clean water. I have these tiles in there too. I don't know if you can see those. Those are just flooring tiles. I bought those at like Home Depot or Lowe's. You can find them in scrap. And it just gives the rabbits a break from walking on the wire all the time. Sometimes their little feet's like a little break from that. Plus in the summer, it retains coolness. Gives them something a little cool to stand on or lay on or whatever they want to do. This is our boy right here. This is the only male breeder rabbit we have, male parent. This is the father of all the babies that we have out here. And these snap-on bowls are great. If they freeze in the winter, they're easy to just tap out the ice, put fresh water in. The rabbits don't knock them over. They don't usually stand in them or poo in them. And they do need to be filled every day, though, every single day. Some people have the more intricate watering systems with the bucket and the tube hosing, and that's really good. I haven't sort of gotten that far yet, just using and then these big PVC pipes. I got these on like the side of the road. It's actually quite expensive to buy PVC this big around, but I just found this on the side of the road, a good sized piece, and I cut it in half, and I give the babies those to sort of hide in and play in. I do eventually want to get some more of those PVC pipes for the other bunnies. Everybody needs those, I think. I think this particular food bowl has some poo in it or some hair or something. I cleaned it out a little, rinsed it out a little bit. And the bunnies on the top, above these guys, have the larger size water bowl. I eventually want to get, because, you know, these are called grow out cages, and this is where you put the babies. They're just going to spend their remaining days in here until they're harvested. But they do drink a lot more, of course, because there's more bunnies in the cages than the adults. But either way, I give them fresh water every single day. It's very important for them. Fresh, clean, cool water. Don't have to worry about it staying cool in the winter, though. You don't ever want to go a day without checking on your rabbit's water and refilling their water. They're pretty cute. They're lovable. We try to treat them as best we can, especially the parents, you know, because they're our producers. We treat them all great, though. Give them the best lives that they have, that they can have. You know, give them treats. We give them alfalfa sometimes, a little hay to chew on or whatever they want to do. Give them oats, whole old-fashioned oats as a treat sometimes. You got to be careful giving them fresh vegetables, though. If you give them too many, they can easily get diarrhea. So we just, try to give them these pellets. Like I said, we get these from Tractor Supply. It's about $25 for a 50-pound bag. And I guess a 50-pound bag will last. It just depends on how many rabbits we have at the time. If we have, if every cage is full, like it is now, we go through some of that feed. It might be like every 2 weeks we need to go and buy a 50-pound bag of rabbit feed. Probably should go and get one today, actually. But, the best place is a feed supply store or Tractor Supply, somewhere like that. Oh, and this is just my wife filming me blowing a couple of snot rockets in slow motion here. It's kind of gross. Turn your head. You don't want to see this. Just clearing out the old sinuses. Yeah, kind of disgusting. Sorry about that. Yeah, all right. That's enough to fill a coffee cup. Okay, that's over with. You can go back to the video now. And I think now I'm about to rinse out the ducks' tub, their swimming tub. And they could soil this thing up pretty quickly. I'd recommend giving them fresh water in there at least once a week at least. We do this sometimes more frequently. It just depends on how bad they soil up the water. And then when they get in there too, when we fill it up to the rim, they splash a lot. So you lose a lot of water just from them getting in there initially and splashing around. They love it though. They absolutely love it. If you have ducks, you've got to have water. There's this huge water swim tub. There's a couple of other waterers around me. There's a big water bowl. Like I said, I leave that little tiny cinder block in there for them to stand on. And then we have this, dog glue. And the ducks and the chickens sometimes go in there and lay eggs. I'm just checking that for eggs now. It's kind of hard because that thing is full of fresh hay. And you really have to get down in there and feel around and make sure there's no eggs in there. But they love a freshly filled water tub. And like I said, there's a water bowl. I do this every single day. Just rinse out this water bowl and I put fresh water. They'll soil it up in a matter of minutes, but still, it just gives them an opportunity to drink some fresh water. And this is also easy. If it freezes, you can see it's kind of banged up. It's from where I've slammed it, tapped it on concrete or something just to get the ice out. But that's something that's easy to do every day.
Yeah, I know.
They have another water over here. This is sort of a big gravity feeder, like a water cooler. It works same principle as a water cooler. And the ducks, they just muddy everything up. They put their beaks in there and just get it all muddy. I don't know why they do that, but it's just part of having ducks. You're going to have mud and you're going to have dirty water all the time if you have ducks. We only have 2 of them, a male and a female. Everybody gets along great. Nobody has any problems. And here I'm picking up the female because she likes the water tub the best. I just want her to be aware that there's a huge tub of fresh, clean water. I'm putting her down in that. She'll probably stay in there for the rest of the day. And eventually the male will go in there and join in and they'll do their little mating ritual that they do daily. If you get ducks, you want to definitely get them in a pair. A male and a female, preferably if you can. We got lucky because we didn't know what sex they were until they got older. And see how they splash around. They lose a lot of the water that way. But they bond. They're bonding animals. They need to have a friend. That's why if you go to most places, they won't just sell you one baby duck. And here I'm just rinsing out the pig. Actually this is just a thing they sell at Home Depot or Lowe's for mixing cement. But I found it perfect to use as a waterer for the pigs. I just got to put that giant super heavy rock back in there, which I have done. And I'm just collecting their food bowls. They have finished eating. So those will be all ready for me on the outside of the fence tomorrow when I go to feed them again. And just giving them some fresh water. I only need to refill this thing about once a week. And it really, they don't ever empty it. It never gets to the point where it's empty and they're out of water. It's just the water gets kind of dirty from them just putting their snouts in there. And actually, we have been working with the rabbits and pairing them up and trying to get them to mate every day for the last few weeks. So I have determined that today is the day to put the nest boxes into the females' cages. And these are actually brand new nest boxes. We were using these little black plastic. They were sort of like generic cat litter boxes, but the rabbits were easily flipping them over, and they were sort of a pain to maintain. But these are made of wood. They're very heavy. They're very substantial. They give more of a secure, protected shelter kind of feel. And we're going to put these in there, and hopefully they will produce some more baby rabbits in the next week or so, we're hoping. The schedule that we've been using to mate with them, they all have a pretty even shot of producing babies around the same time, which is what we're hoping for. And I'm just putting some cedar or pine chips. I think these are pine. I think they discourage you from using cedar, or something about the oils in the wood or something. But these are pine shavings, I believe, just as nesting material for the rabbits. But, as nice, as immaculate and clean and soft and cozy as you make it, sometimes they just turn it into their own litter box, and they'll poo and pee in there. It's just something you got to clean and check every day. And the ducks are having a great time over there. They're both in the tub now. You can see our chihuahuas in the background, Coco and Bowie. And they love rabbit doo-doo as a treat. I don't know why, but I just had this wood up here because of rain earlier. We don't want the rain to build up in the tarp there. And it's just a temporary thing. But this is the first time these rabbits are ever seeing these particular nesting boxes. So they've got a brand new, fresh pine scent to them that they're exploring, investigating. There's no treatment on these woods. This is just raw wood that's been dried out and used to make these nest boxes. These are great if you can find them. If you can't buy them, you can make them yourself. They're pretty easy. And this one has decided to climb up on top of hers and lick it. They love the flavor. But those are our bunnies. There they are. Those are our ducks. They're having a good old time. They're getting their little rape game on now. The males are on top. It's normal in the duck world. You don't want to try to break that up. That's just something that they do. That's how they do their mating thing. Now, she has actually not started laying eggs yet. They're full-grown adults, and we expect them to lay any day now. But anyway, that's a day on the farm there. That's all the daily activities I have to do every single day. Thank you for taking the time to watch this, and I hope you enjoyed it. Questions or comments, please like, comment, and subscribe.